Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher. The time's come for me to change the way I think, to change the way I feel, for me to go beyond what everybody thinks, what everybody says is real. Today I take a step into a time and space of peace and possibility.
Everyone here in Brooklyn, New York, at Nicholas.
My true divinity.
Here to talk about some higher consciousness. How's the video? Is it too dark? You need the light on? Yeah. You probably need the light on, bro. There it is. Is that better? All right, how y'all doing online? You got some people in the room? Who's in the house? We have Brooklyn in the house, and we're also broadcasting.
One step and one idea.
We didn't activate the stream. So bear with us. We're going to get started. We got to activate the stream.
Uniting all reality.
We're not on the Instagram. I think are we on our Instagram?
I am the I am the we. Yeah. Higher consciousness.
On Facebook.
Let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Ooh, yeah. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher. I'm going to consciousness. Let's go higher. I'm gonna touch the sky.
We're going to touch the sky today. We want to give thanks to God, to the Creator, to the one supreme being. And thanks to you all that came here today, and also to everyone that's online in our webinar room. Give it up for my daughter Sakara, came from Philadelphia, got up early this morning to help us with this technical situation. Come on, Brooklyn. My riding partner. So, once again, let's take a moment as we fade the music out. Let us all take a moment. You've probably done this already. And let's just take a moment and reflect. Let's go within. Let's give thanks to the one supreme being known by many names. We say never chair, Lord of all. We give thanks for being in your presence and being present today. And we give thanks to our noble ancestors that have opened the way for us, and to all the holy men and women in this world that are on the front line of making this world what it's supposed to be. All right, so thank you so much. Thank you, those of you that are online. My name is M. Tahuti Kamo, and I'm a priest in the Kamitic tradition. That's Camitic, ancient Egypt. And I'm celebrating some 40 some odd years now of work under the great tutelage of His Majesty Ra-Un Nefer Amen, Shechem of the Osiris Set Society, the CEO of Camitic Legacy, world-renowned author of the world-renowned series, the Neteru, volumes 1 through 7. I have heard there's other volumes on the way, but I know a lot of y'all want to know when volume 1 is coming back, and it's coming back shortly, very shortly. You're going to see a lot of explosive growth this year, these next few months, coming out of our new company, Camitic Legacy, where we're going to expand our reach and enable us to share the wisdom that we have received, but also tested. which is very important, right? There's a lot of theories out here, a lot of concepts out here, and that's all good. But what you want to know is that what you're working with has been tested, has been worked on. So we have the blessings of his teaching over 51 years now. And many students have been with him for over 4 decades. And we've experienced. So what I'm going to share with you today is about magic and demystifying magic. I hear a little echo. YouTube channel, Facebook channel, and we will be rebroadcasting on our Instagram. So if on the work that we've been doing, we have a lot of good information there. You go to Osaraset PA on Facebook, Instagram, as well as Ra'un Nefra Amen. This is a picture of our teacher at our Camitic Fest, which was a powerful event. Was it October? September? November. Okay. I'm lost in time. I'm in April right now. We have a big event coming up in April 5th. It'll be powerful. We're actually going to have the installation of the Osirian, huge Osirian mural in our temple in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This shot is from our temple in Philadelphia, where we have our annual Camitic Fest. We also have our Tefu conference. We're going to have a powerful Tefu conference this year, brothers. A Tefu is a Kamitic term for men, for fathers specifically, right? So that's where we get together and we talk about men's issues, right? And our health and our physical, our mental, our spiritual, our financial health. And we do some powerful group meditations and healings. Is the speaker on your computer on? Is that why I hear echo? The sound check was good online? So yeah, this past November, we had Dr. James Small. You're familiar with him. Dr. Muwakil, Dr. Sante. We had a powerhouse Camitic Fest program, and that program is available for replay. So you can go back and check on what we did. But today we want to talk about your life. We want to talk about your ability to manifest things in your life, right? When you think about magic, what is magic? All magic really means is the ability to make something happen in the physical world without using physical means or without just using physical means, right? To make something happen in your physical, earthly, everyday, mundane life through using something that is metaphysical, which just means beyond the physical, right? Metaphysical is beyond the physical. So what's beyond the physical? Your mind, right? Your thoughts, your feelings. Those are kind of a physical component with that. The images that you cultivate and other higher, more subtle metaphysical faculties that we have. So magic is nothing, extra sensory. Magic is normal. It's natural. It's the faculties that we have been given to by the Creator, right? And it is our culture that's supposed to educate us how to use these faculties to achieve the things we need to achieve in our lives. This is an understanding of the ancient wisdom system. An ancient wisdom system from Kemet, from Canaan, from Sumer, from Indus Kush. Some of that was preserved in the symbolism from the Europeans in the tarot system. So you've seen this card before, right? The tarot card of the magician. And what this is a symbol, it's a formula. It's explaining certain components that need to work together in order for you to have a magical effect. So the first thing you notice is that he's pointing up to heaven with the wand. And we're going to talk about the wand today because God gave you a magical wand. It's in the hand of Heru, right? The ability to work your metaphysical power to make things happen in the world. He's pointing to heaven and he's pointing to earth. And if you look at the condition of earth, you see these blossoming and blooming flowers. So what is that saying to you? How do I connect from heaven in order to make things grow, in order to make things blossom, right? In order to get the fruit that comes with the flowers, right? And the key is, you see, he has a symbol over his head, which is, what is that symbol there? Infinity, right? And it's called the lemniscat. And really what it is a circle that has been bent, right? To give you this double sine curve in science, right? So you can see the two components of the circle or the cycle and how they are moving as one is going down, one is going up, and then they crisscross. So you could look at that as the cycle of the year, the cycle of the month, the cycle of the day, right? And the cycle of the year, where they cross would be your equinox, and the peaks would be your solstices, right? So he's got the cycles over his head. What does that mean? That means the cycles are supreme. Your understanding of cycles, the fact that everything in life happens according to cycles. So when you want to bring something into being, you use the faculty of your will. You put up your magician's wand. You say, I will do this, and I will do that, and I will make this happen, and I will make this disappear, this problem, right? And I will make this thing that I need manifest and come into being and fruition in my life, right? I will do that. What is higher than your will, what your will must submit to, is the law of cycles. Because it was like what's spreading the seed, putting the seed in the ground. You put the seed in the ground at the wrong time of year, what's going to happen? Nothing. Right? If you miss the right time of year, you got to wait a whole nother year. You see? And this is something that growing up in this modern so-called world where we are divorced from the everyday agricultural realities, right? We lose sight. We just think, oh, we just make something happen anytime we want to. No, there's a time factor, and the time factor is supreme. And then it breaks it down. You got his magical table here, and he's got some implements. He's got 4 different implements on his table, right? Any of y'all play spades? Yeah. Big time. Okay. You know, they protected and saved the magical information in games. So in your deck of playing cards, there's how many suits? 4 suits. Anybody ever think about why? We're talking about cycles, the 4 seasons, right? 4 different parts of the cycle. So there they are. So you said spades. So where's the spades on that table? See if you're a real card player. Which one is the spades? Somebody online, give me the answer. Which one is the spades on that table? The sword. Yes, that's right. Because the spade is the springtime, which is what we're coming up to, right? Where you got to take your sword, and you got to do what? You got to cut the weeds, right? So those of you listening today, we're going to do a Heru meditation at 2:00. You know, because sometimes you might fall asleep and think, you know, I got over that, and then it comes back on you, right? You know, oh, I got it this time. I don't do that. I don't roll like that anymore. I gave that up. And then boom, you find yourself in another time like, dang, I thought I was past all of that. Right? What happened? That weed was under the ground. And when the energy that brings everything back in the springtime, it brings the weeds as well as what you planted. You got to cut it. You got to cut it, right? Cut that off. So there's 4 suits here, right? We got the cups, which represents the cycle of the winter. That's the water faculty, right? And that's when there's the fertility for you to put something into your soil that you call your soul. Your soul is the soil, right? So you put things into your psyche that you want to manifest when you learn how to go within through the water, through the faculty that enables you to internalize, right? And then those things come up in the springtime. And then you protect them with your sword and cut the weeds, the distractions. Make sure that they get the sun, right? And they're not shaded out by the weeds that are overgrown. Make sure the weeds don't suck all the nutrients out the soil so they can't complete their maturity. You follow what I'm saying? I'm talking about your habits. I'm talking about the things that you're trying to cultivate in your life that the energy gets sucked out of because you didn't manifest the sword in the right cycle. And when you do that successfully, then you have dominion. Now you're walking in your field with your staff, which is the clubs, right? Right? So you just taking a tour like, yeah, check out my field. See, this is coming up nice. Yeah, we're going to eat good this year. This is coming good over here. We got all this under control. You know, they give a staff to people of power, right? That's the summertime. That's the summit. That's the height, right? And then you harvest and you take your stuff to market and you get paid. That's the diamonds. That's the coins, right? Maybe we need to switch from playing spades to playing diamonds. I don't know. Black folks, we play a lot of spades, but we need to play some diamonds. But again, this is the cycles, the 4 elements, the 4 parts of the cycles. That's the key to the magician. So in the Neteru, if you haven't seen this image, this is from the Neteru, which is the word of God. And this is the card of Heru, the symbol of Heru. And Heru is the faculty through which we manifest our God-given divinity, right? Our freedom, you say. Our freedom to reject false ideas. Our freedom to reject the false image of ourselves. Freedom to reject the emotional pull and push of our lower earthly vehicle, right? That freedom to say no. So if you're ultimately free, then you're what? You're the king of your own life. You're the king of your own being. There's no thought, there's no emotion, there's no habit, there's nothing that happened to you in the past. I got a message for you today. I want to share with you from our experience. There's nothing that happened to you in your past that you cannot transcend. You don't have to live with that. Your divinity means that you have the freedom to overcome that, to step out of that. And if you look around the world, you'll find people that have done it, something that you might think you just can't handle. You just can't take it. You just never get over it. I'll never be the same. I'll never be normal after what was done to me or what happened to me or what I lost, right? In our tradition, we would say those are violations of the divine law when you accept those thoughts. You're violating the truth of who you really are, who God made you to be. You are the ability to be victorious over any circumstance. So you're the king. That's Heru. And he wears the double crown. For those of you that know the Kamitic philosophy, right? Osir has the white crown. That's the crown of the north, right? I mean the south, my bad. The crown of the south, up south, because the river ran from south to north, right? And civilization spread from the south to the north. So that's the ancestral crown. That's telling you who our ancestors were, right? They didn't come from up north or another continent. Our spirituality came from deep in the south of Africa, right? But your ancestor of ancestors is God. That's your ancestor. God manifested you. So that's the crown of your divinity. That's the Osir crown. And it's on the inside because that's the core of who you are. And on the outside is the crown of the north, which is the outside, the external, the part of you that has to function in this world. So, you heard people say things like, I don't have much time for spirituality. I'm too busy working. I know I need to get this in and that and so, but I got this going on. I got that going on. Once I make me some money or once I get this, then I'll be able to focus on my spirit. I'll be able to get it together, right? And we say in our tradition, Dwau Sebek, right? Because we know Sebek is the one that writes you the past. When you messed up when you got to school late, or and you get an excuse, right? Oh yeah, the bus was late. Okay, all right, you're excused, right? Sebek is the one, always that devilish intellect within you that will always give you an excuse as to why you're not doing what you said you was going to do, why you're not doing what you know you're supposed to do, right? So no, you got to be in the world, but not of it. You got to be fully in the world and fully not of the world. And that's what Heru is, the faculty through which you can be in the world, but not of it, through which your spirituality, your understanding of your divinity is manifesting, is the core of you manifesting success in the material world, is the core of you surviving, is the core of you, regaining. And we need that now, don't we? We need it. But the key is cycles. Cycles. Cycles are very powerful. How many of y'all seen this symbol before? Okay, good. That's the septagon. Elliot went right to sleep, huh? See, he knew you was. Oh, I'm sorry, Elliot. Lay down. Lay back down. Not bad. Yeah, he was like, "Who said my name?" So yeah, this is a septagon. This is the sevenfold. You can look at energy in different ways. Ni hao. You can look at energy in different ways. The structure of the sevenfold organization of energy, which we see in the 7 days of the week. Some of you might never thought of why there's 7 days in the week. Not everybody has a 7-day week. Some people have a different organization of days of the week, right? But the 7 is the 4 times 28, which gives you roughly the lunar cycle, and that energy of the 4 parts of the moon manifests through a up and down yin and yang cycle of 7 days. So that's what this diagram represents. And these planets, peace, brother, are aligned according to their rotation, their orbital speed, what have you. But if you look at the inner diagram, this is where we get our days, right? So we go Saturday, then we got to jump over to Sunday, then we go over to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's how that 7 is formed. But if you look at the planetary hours, some of y'all might not be aware that they're actually planetary hours every day. When you say today is Saturday, that's because the first hour of the day was got by Saturn. And then they move in that same cycle. Interesting, right? I told you when we'll talk about magic, because when you want to break it down, you can break it down to the hour, like what you can manifest. Some of y'all have heard this before, and in your Kamitic meditation journal, we break this down so that if you, let's say, have something very important to do, like improve your finances, and it is under the dominion of the energy of Mercury, which we correspond in the Pout Neteru to Sebek, right? Then you might want to plan your meditations in the hour of Sebek, of Mercury. Why? Because the weather is right. You don't go to the beach when it's freezing cold. I mean, sometimes we did that, but that was a no said sacrifice. You don't go to the beach. You want to make sure the weather's right? You don't jump in the water when the riptides is, So if I'm going to do a meditation with that energy, I want to tap into that energy. I want to tap into it in the cycle of the year, in the cycle of the month, in the cycle of the day, and even in the cycle of the hour. And some of you high-powered business people, y'all doing your thing. You got your business, you got your spiritual reading, and you know that Sebek governs your business, right? When are you going to plan your best meetings, your most important meetings, your most critical discussions? Wednesday, right? In the hour of Mercury. Yeah, this is an app you can get on your phone, you know. I won't share my phone with you. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, so you want to meet? And I'll be like, hold on, let me check my schedule. I'm looking at the planetary hours, like, you know, oh, I'm not beating with this brother in an hour here, Kahuti. We're gonna be butting heads, you know. It ain't gonna be work. We need to do something smooth, right? Or you players out there, you know, you got your rap on and all that. You talking to the sister, you know, you're trying to get your relationship together, and you want things to go smooth. So you know, like, yeah, I just happened to call her. You don't know you calling her in the hour of Venus, like, oh, I gave away the secrets now. Gave away the secrets. There's a solar cycle. Y'all know about that. The equinoxes and the solstices, very, very powerful. So energy and cycles has a hierarchy, right? So the longer the cycle, the more the things that happen within that cycle that you need to address will affect you through the months, through the weeks, the days, etc. Right? So if you're just getting started with this understanding, you want to check out our information about how to observe the most important part of the winter cycle, which is the winter season, which starts at the winter solstice and extends all the way to the spring equinox. So that's where we are right now. Any of y'all in the Union with God course? What do you think? Okay. Yeah, it's the same as last year. There's some additional information that we'll be getting in the probably next week. Yeah, to take it to the next. But last year it was a whole lot of work. I mean, yeah, you could do last year for the next 10 years. A lot of us, you know. None of y'all's in the union with God. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what it is. We just renamed it. No, because it was called. We're adjusting the name because what came through, and I have to share with you, having the pleasure of working with the Shechem, the spiritual teacher of 50 years. You know, he's constantly receiving downloads. So it's not like, okay, just, you know, put it out there. You know, there's a higher influence that's saying, okay, based on what's going on right now, you need to adjust this, you need to adjust that, and that's not something you can force to happen. Just like, you know what I mean? It's gotta kind of come to you. But what we got last year was so powerful. If you did nothing for the next 10 years, but just work with that information, you'll be busy. You'll be busy. It gives you such fruit in your life, you know? So we talk about that, but that's what we call it, union with God now, because it's modern Kamitic spiritual teachings. And when we say union with God, it's based on an understanding that, a deep understanding. If there's a supreme being and the supreme being is the supreme being, then the supreme being is omnipresent, right? So is God with you? But are you with God? Are you with God? Because you know you could be walking down the street with somebody you've been married to for 10 years and you're really not together. And when you break up, people be like, oh, dang, they was together. I always thought everything was so, but they wasn't really together. So God is always with us. The question is, are we with God? And you can't be with God if you're not living divine laws. You can't be with God if your life is not a reflection of the divine plan. So that's what union with God deals with. And it has to do with our identity, right? Every year, we must refocus ourselves on our divine identity. The fact that according to your Kamitic ancestors, you are not a human being. Worst thing that was done to us is that we were told that we're human beings. Why you want to be a human being for? Because when you mess up, when you cheat on your wife, when you take the money, when you abuse your health because you don't rise above certain habits, or you don't cultivate the health habits that you don't care to do, what's your excuse? I'm only human. Everybody got something. Everybody got some problems. I'm only human, right? You take refuge in that. So your ancestors say you're not a human being, you're a divine being. You're made in the likeness of God. So this manifests throughout the cycles. And God has faculties just like we have. And in the Kamitic calendar and journal, we have made the correspondences through the work of Raul Nefamen between the zodiacal signs and cycles and the faculties of God, right? Which in the Indus Kush tradition, they call the Dasha Vidyas, right? That's the knowledge holders, the faculties that give you that indwelling intelligence of how to do something, of why to do something, that intuition, that teaching that comes from within. These 10 teaching faculties, these relate to the zodiacal signs because they are the holders of the knowledge of the laws through which you can avoid the negative side of that energy and you can rise to manifest the positive, uplifting side of that energy. Are you with me? Right? Because energy is what is fluctuating throughout the cycle. And energy is amoral. It's not immoral. It doesn't have anything to do with morality. It's energy, right? So how you use the energy, how you cultivate the energy. It's the reason I was able to drive here today from Philadelphia, because that explosion of gasoline was cultivated in such a manner where it could be contained, where it could not cause a fire, right? Where it could not cause destruction, but it could be harnessed in such a manner that it could be utilized to power a vehicle. It's everything that we're experiencing is the knowledge of how to cultivate energy and use it for its positive application. Make sense? Right? So that knowledge comes from within. And that knowledge from within has been classified in the Kamitic tradition and in other traditions through the gods or the Neteru. Now, let's make sure we're up to date on our immunity shots. Those of you out there, when I say gods, I want to make sure you've gotten your shots, right? So that you've been immunized from white supremacy and colonialism. Y'all got scared. Y'all got COVID. Like, wait a minute now. Let's run out of here. Yeah, you know, there's a trick that took place years ago that they took our science and they used, you know, word games, right, to make our stuff look like it was something primitive, like it was something ungodly, right? And we have people still struggling with that today. So they label us as polytheistic. They label native cultures as polytheistic, and they are in the possession of the monotheism, which is more highly evolved. Even though they have the God, the Father, the Son, the Holy. Wait a minute, that's more than one, but they're really one. So they can talk like that, like the Father and the Son are one. You ever heard that one? Yeah. Well, wait a minute. If you're monotheistic, why you got a Father and you got a Son? That's two. Oh, well, the Father and the Son are really one. Well, that's what we've been saying. You know, we got 11, we got 20 over here. We got all of these different, and what they are metaphoric descriptions, right, of an attribute of the one, which is incomprehensible. Who can comprehend God? You can't even comprehend the dimension of the physical world. I mean, to think that we're sitting here and we are but a grain of sand on this planet. And this planet is but a grain of sand on an infinite beach in the galaxy. And the galaxy is but a grain of sand in the Milky Way. And the Milky Way is but in the perceivable universe, in what we can perceive, which is limited. And limited in its dimension. So who could conceive a creator that could create that and then talk to you? I mean, it's just mind blowing, right? So man's attempt to comprehend God is what religion and spirituality is about, right? So we're talking about magic and manifestation. I want to talk about this calendar, what this calendar is about. And this calendar has been around for 50 years since it was introduced to us by Ra Neframen. He didn't invent time, but he certainly was able to codify and put together the understanding of the manifestation of cycles in a functional way, meaning like, what are you doing this month? What are the things that will happen to you in this month that you can control, that you can influence, that you can mitigate the negative side of, that you can exploit the positive side of through your activities of meditation, right? And qigong and things of that nature, right? That's what this is about. This is a functional product. In fact, this right here, this book is mostly empty because this exactly, you got to do the work. This is to try to give you guidance on how to do the work and what to do to manifest things in your life in an orderly, organized way and hold yourself accountable, right? Because there's one person that can mess up your life. You know who that is, right? You know, that's why our ancestors, we had the weighing of the heart and words, right? You know, it's a ritual that you do where you know, have to declare the things that you did not do, not what you did. What you did, the good is going to take care of itself. Don't worry about that. It's what you did not do, right? It's the sins or violations of your divinity that you did not transcend, right? That's where the lever of power is. So within this, it has a diagram, a layout of what to do for the year. Some of you are using the Neteru Oracle system. It shows you how to take your readings and put it into actualization throughout the months and make sure you keep it front of mind, you know, and ritualize it accordingly. Just looking at our time. All right, my brother, peace. Yeah, we have a recording. Hmm? Yeah, over there. So it takes you through a step-by-step process. We'll come back to that. Oh, and this is the Neteru Oracle system for those of you. You keeping up with me, Sakara? She's doing her thing over there. The Neteru Oracle system ties into astrology because the faculties, right, are tied with the keys for you to understand how they relate to the astrological cycles, the zodiacal sign, the day of the week, that planetary hour. These keys are all right there, right? Very powerful system. So the system is organized that every month is a particular netter or aspect of God that we focus on. We are now in the Heru cycle. So on the tear, right? Heru cycle. So this yes, manifesting your power. That's the magician. That's what we're talking about today. So the key to the cycle is the moon, you know, the new moon going to the full moon. I just want to go through some quick examples of how the cycles line up with events that you see in the world to kind of confirm what the weather is, what the energy is that's manifesting. So this was when Israel invaded, right? The ground invasion. This was Herukahuti cycle, October of 2023. Herukahuti is the governor of Mars, the martial energy, warfare, right? So you see, they actually invaded on the full moon in the Herukahuti cycle. Uh, some of y'all know about this, right? Yeah, the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar, which Kendrick Lamar is going to be, uh, he's at the Super Bowl, right? Yeah, yeah, tomorrow. So yeah, his career kind of blown up, and so this rap battle, which is a war of words, right? Who do you think would govern that? Sebek, right? Sebek or Mercury, right? Is the rap, is the rap battle. It started in Sebek's cycle, and it was started by three people, which is Sebek's number, right? This record or whatever these three people put out. Don't ask me their names. I'm trying not to get too deep into it, you know. But the line that triggered the whole thing was when one of the rappers after that, when Drake and J. Cole, I think, had said something about we the top three, right? So you see number three manifesting in what kicked off this whole thing, right? Donald Trump survived an assassination that was in Secker cycle on a Saturday on the 13th, which is Secker's number, and it was right around the hour of Saturn, right? You call this in metaphysics signatures, right? You think of signature like a thumbprint, like a fingerprint, right? If we go into the crime scene or the love scene or whatever it is that's going on, we can get a fingerprint and we can identify who was there, right? Who was responsible. Or nowadays we could take some DNA and we can know, oh no, we know you were there because we got some hair, we got some of this and that, and the DNA matches up, right? So when we say the signature, we're talking about the fact that events that happen come with the signature of the Neteru, right? And this is powerful. This is what I want to share with the world, because when you see this, and if you've been around people, these Osirian people, right? We got a saying like you can't make this up. Like you can't make this up because it happens so many times, you know, and it coordinates with the reading, right? You do it. It's not just a cycle, but you do a spiritual reading, and things will manifest in the cycle of the reading, on the day of the reading, and the hour of the reading. You'll see that signature present, that the oracle has connected whatever you asked about, right, with that faculty. I'll give an example. Just this morning, you know, they've been predicting, like, Stormzilla is coming, and all of that. And I don't know if it's they make money on the weather now or something, but I grew up in the Northeast. Snow is not like, oh my God, it's gonna snow. Right? I mean, when we was growing up, the snow would be, right. You have to dig your car out. I mean, literally. I got to share this with some people, since global warming, whatever. You have to dig your car out. The snow would be up over the level you couldn't even see your car. You got to go like, oh yeah, my car's here. You know what I'm saying? And people be out there with shovels and stuff like that. And you dig yourself, and the kids, we would be in igloos and all this kind of stuff. You know, yeah, yeah. I mean, we live with snow. I mean, that's what we do. Right, right. We're not like in Georgia. I got caught in that one when Atlanta wasn't ready. But I mean, we're used to dealing with snow. But anyway, I said, okay, it sounds really bad. Let me make sure and check. So I did a reading on if I should still come here. So I get Osera Tep. So I say, okay, I'm gonna go with that, right? That's gonna work out. And two things happened. The first happened is my son, my grandson was born this morning. Yeah. So and that's here in New York. So I was like, I didn't know that timing was going to work out that way, but that was one thing. But then on the way up here, we just about to get here with my daughter, and she had the need to relieve herself, and we're over on Eastern Parkway area or whatever, and it's going to be a while before we get here. And the thought comes, oh, I have a friend that lives close by. So I called her. We actually were about 2 minutes from her house. We stopped by there so she could use the restroom. And her husband, who's a beautiful musician, guitarist, and a sculptor, makes sculptures, spiritual sculptures. So she comes back to the car with a bag, a white bag. And I said, what's in the bag? It's a statue of Osiris. So you just can't make this stuff up. So we get that confirmation, and that's what allows us to not be believing. We don't believe in God. We don't believe in the spirits of the Orishas. We know. We know because they sign everything, right? So this was a big signature. Now, if you know anything about Saturn, you know Saturn is it deals with the foundation, the structure, deep uh, changes, right? And what are we looking at right now? Complete remake of the foundation of this whole country. Yes, sir. This is a Saturnal return. Yeah. But our oracle system predicted this almost 3 years ago. I forget when we did the 5 year reading because things were looking real wild in America. So our priest did a reading on what's happening with America for the next 5 years, and Secker came up, right? So what you're seeing right now is the total breakdown of the foundation of what the Constitution, right? So Saturn is the bones, right? The Constitution is the bones of the country. The bones of the system of government is a separation of powers. The executive, right? The executive, the legislative, and the judicial, right? So you're separating the powers so that you can it's an attempt, right, to have a governance, because freedom, which is Heru, has to be balanced by Ma'at, right? 6 and 4 on the tree of life. Our freedom needs regulation. So it's not enough just to be the land of the free. We're a democratic republic, because the republic's supposed to be the Ma'at, the laws, the framing of the laws, and the democratic is the freedom to choose and what have you, right? So that structural element is being remade before our eyes right now. So for those who have eyes to see, you look at this and you're like, wow, okay, you can see what's going on. And sure enough, he went on after this to be back in office, right? Here's another one, Sebek cycle. Sorry, Sebek, there's a lot of stuff happening in your cycle. And this is another thing that deals with the fabric of society. Sebek cycle, you had the murder, and I don't mean to be bringing up just negative things. I guess when the prosperity of the country comes up, health care gets better, whatever, it's not as dramatic, in the news. But the bad stuff is in the news, right? So this was the CEO of United Healthcare, right, was murdered on a Wednesday in Sebek cycle. He was killed with 3 bullets, not 2 or 5. And the bullet had writing on him, 3 words. And the person that killed him was an intellectual. He went to Ivy League, graduated cum laude. He had a degree in computer engineering, which is Sebek or Mercury's field. And he had what? A written manifesto. So there's so much Sebek, and he gets away on a bicycle. I mean, come on, right? It was a Sebek crime. So I'm sharing these things with you to say that we're not speculating about whether this is accurate or not, whether this is something that works or not. We know that this is real, this calendar, but what's in it for you, is the question. Oh, here's another one. So we had in Heru cycle, we're in Heru cycle now, we had 60 passengers. Heru's number is 6. Actually, we had 2 aviation disasters. Let me back up, right? So there was 2 aviation disasters that happened. The first one was Washington, D.C., right? And in that one, you had an American Airlines flight, which was taken down by a hawk. Now, the symbol of Heru is a hawk, right? Now, Heru is not killing people. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the energy of the cycle. The evil and the good will manifest, right? Heru is the knowledge of how do I use this energy for good, right? So it's not like Heru did this, but it's giving us the understanding of what the cycle is, what energy is in charge. So you have American Airlines, that's the one airline in the country that's named after the country. It is taken down by a hawk, a Black Hawk helicopter, right? There were 60 passengers on board on that plane. Then the next day, you had a plane crash in Philadelphia. It was scheduled to take off at 6:06. It was painted red and white, which is Heru's colors, and there were 6 people on board. So we know this works. We know this works. But what it's really about is character versus personality. We're going to do a meditation. We're running a little behind, so I want to move quickly with this, but I hope you're getting an understanding. The calendar works, but what is the calendar telling you? The calendar is telling you the weather. It's telling you the energy, right? And you are a vehicle to receive this energy. This energy is touching you. It's affecting you. It's affecting your projects. It's affecting your families. It's affecting the critical areas of your life on a month-to-month basis. So the question is, how can I ride this energy like a wave at the beach? Now you can stand in the water, somebody turn around, and somebody's going to say, hey, let me take a picture, hey, and you're just standing there, and a wave is coming and just smacks you in the back of the head, and you fall down, and the next week you're at work like, I got to take time off, I got hit by a wave, right? And you know what I'm saying? What we got to do here, brother? We lost the projector for a minute. Oh, the screen? That was me, that was me. That was me, my bad. Okay, you get smacked down by a wave, right? Or you can have your surfboard, your spiritual surfboard, right? And you can catch that wave and you can ride that wave, right? Or you can ride that current in the ocean. So that's where your will, your ability to make the decisions that you need to make and to govern, your governance of your life comes in. So that's what you have the opportunity to do throughout the cycle of the year. You have the opportunity to do that throughout the cycle of the month, right? Is to ride the wave of the energy. And how you ride that wave of that energy is determined by your character. Your character is different than your personality, right? The word personality means the sound, that through which a sound is vibrating. It's a vibrational energy. That's why we can say, okay, you're born at this time or this kind of energy, and you're going to have this kind of a personality. But good character is something that you cultivate as to how you manage that energy that you have. So every month you have a personality evaluation and you have some laws, right, to guide how you function. So for example, the law of Heru is one of the ways it's stated is you're living as a likeness of God when you choose out of a conviction that is based on understanding to live according to the laws of God instead of your opinions and feelings, right? So some of us get it twisted. You say, I got a right, I'm free to express my opinion. You're using the understanding of freedom incorrectly. Your opinion is just a set of thoughts. It could be right, it could be wrong, right? You're free to ignore your own thoughts too. That's the real freedom. And that's the freedom you want to exert, right? You say, well, I'm free to do as I feel. I'm free. See, you are cosmologically confused. Because you're following your feelings, you're not doing it out of freedom. No, I'm saying if you're following your feelings, whatever you're doing, if you're following your feelings, then you are following that which is blind within you, because feelings are not are not based on clarity, not based on insight. It's energy is what you're following. And that energy, you need to get behind you. It's like you got to harness that wind in the sail to propel you to where you need to go. So every month, let's look at Heru. So let's focus on Heru. We're going to do a Heru meditation in a few minutes. Leadership skills. Natural ability to lead and inspire others. This is the abilities to cultivate, right? The positive side. Authority and influence in various domains. Confidence in taking charge and making decisions. These are positive things we need to cultivate, right? On the negative side, you could have ego issues. You could be arrogant. We could be prideful. We could be difficult in receiving even constructive criticism and guidance. We see a lot of that on display today, right? That's what the whole political destruction thing is now, made popular. Like, if you change your mind, you're waffling. It's not like, well, I listened to what the person I had a disagreement with said. I found some merit in what they were saying. I re-examined my position, and now I found a compromise and a way to go forward in a win-win manner that considers things that I wasn't really aware of. Oh, you weak, right? You're weak. You can't run your marriage like that for very long anyway. Right? But you run the country like that. That's in vogue because that meant you're not strong if you're not strong in your opinions and your beliefs. No, strength is your devotion to truth, to correctness, and your ability to put your ego aside to say, well, you know what? I thought that way at one time, but I had a revelation. I had a dream. I got new information. I re-examined how we're looking at this. I brought in my perspective. And now this is what I see. You see something different? Share it with me. That's a person that has strength and confidence, right? So this is an inventory that we take every month based on what the energy is. Why do we do it in a Heru cycle? Because you know what? You saw the accuracy of the calendar. The other thing that's accurate is that we've noticed over these decades is that your stuff, my stuff, in these areas is going to come up in the cycle. It's come up. If you're going to have a blow up in your relationship because you haven't put your ego in check, I bet you it's going to come up in her root cycle, right? If you're going to have an insubordination charge on your job because you should have just walked away when the manager or whatever said so and so, you should have fell back, done your readings, done your meditations, did your strategic planning, but you just jumped up and had to say something because your manhood or womanhood or adulthood was being threatened. It's going to pop off in Heru cycle. So wisdom is, let me prepare for that in advance, right? Let me be on top of my game so that when this energy, because the energy that inspired you to be insubordinate is not Heru, it's the solar energy, it was predictable. It was predictable. You knew that wave was gonna come at that time. You follow what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of knowing this. If you have a tendency to be domineering, overbearing, difficult collaborating and considering others' perspectives, right? It will tend to manifest in Heru cycle, or it will tend to manifest when, those of you get the readings, right? You get the Heru reading and so on, then you'll see this pop up. And the beauty of this is that the cycle becomes an opportunity for growth, because when you correct that, the energy is with you, and now the positive blessings that are there for you, the fruit for you to eat from the tree of life is there for you to enjoy. It's there to lift you up. It's there to elevate your life. It's there to increase your finances, your effectiveness, whatever it is that you need to do. We talked about the signatures and the laws. Now, we use sound wave technology, right, in order to harmonize ourselves with the energy of the cycle or the energy of the Neteru. What do we mean by sound wave technology? You have that. They can't see that on here though. You have that video? Why don't you show it online with no sound? I'm going to share this with y'all. You've probably seen this video here. So this is sound wave, right? And this is a plate that vibrates the sound wave of different frequencies. And you can see here, it makes shapes according to what you don't hear is they're modulating the frequency, right? So sound, which is energy, shapes matter. It shapes the material world. That's why you call this your person, your personality. So you see here, different frequencies that they found make these harmonious geometric shapes. And it does the same thing to water, right? They're changing the frequency, and it's changing the structure of the water. So, you can check that out. But it's an ancient understanding that if you want to change your mind, if you want to change your feelings, if you want to change your psychic electromagnetic envelope that extends from your body, right? Which they call in qigong the what do they call it? The wei qi. You were supposed to say it with that nice Mandarin accent. Oh, you got to say oh after? Wei qi. Oh, yeah, because when that wei qi goes out, you go oh. And the more powerful your cultivation of your energy, the larger your wei qi envelope, right? So you can touch people from a distance, right? Right? So energy moves and sound changes the structure, channels the structure of the energy. So that's what mantras is about. In Camitic, we call it Hekau. And in this book, Neteru Volume 6, there's over 72 different sound vibrations that you can use to do very specific things. So for those of you that's been following what we're doing with the Camitic calendar, the Camitic journal, as they say, there's layers to this, right? There's levels to this, right? So if you're very sophisticated, right, then you already know. Let's say I know that Heru governs my business enterprise. I already know that. Then I'm planning when Heru cycle comes. I'm not going to do it just when Heru cycle comes, but when Heru cycle comes, and there's that intersection of the energy of the moon with the energy in the week and the day and so forth, there's certain sounds that I can use to advance my business enterprise specifically. And here's a couple of the angels under Heru. So understand that in the Kamitic cosmogony, you have the archangels, and then you have the angels, which do more specific things. Let me just check on my car. Make sure the parking angels have not. I need a meter check. So Sita El, for example, is an angel under Heru. And these are just some of the things that this angelic power, this subdivision, this part of what they would call in astrology Leo, right? But there's a subdivision of that energy that will enable you to do some very specific, powerful things, given that you have subdued the negative side that we just talked about, right? Because if you start messing with this and you haven't dealt with your ego and your arrogance and your other negative Heru qualities, then you are, it's like angels and demons, that concept. It's not that again, the energy is not demonic. The energy is not moral. It's amoral, right? So you start messing with certain vibrations and you haven't put your character in check, right? Then yes, you can get an effect, but you can also, stimulate things that are not good. That's where the demon thing, that's where the gargoyles on the church came from, right? You're like, what's this doing on the church? That's the understanding. there's a energy there's something that guards you from getting to the power. It will mess you up. So again, if you're advanced and you've been working on your union with God and you've been working on your Meneb and all of that, then you can start to work with some specific angels. This one helps you with protection from assaults, accidents, also career advancements, helps you to advance in politics, self-employment, and inspires you with scientific discoveries. So you may be like, wow, in my career or this, that, and the other, or this neighborhood I'm living in, or, I need to buff up on that. I need some of that. So you would do those Sita El meditation, right? In Heru cycle, particularly on Sundays, Tuesdays, hours of the sun, right? Don't take you long. Just generate that energy. Sayalja, to oppose and defeat oppressors. Career advancement, especially in fields of counseling. Also help you with divination, right? And financial stability. Anybody need that? Some of that? Yeah. So these are the fruits of the tree of life. These are powers that are available to us, but we've got to be functioning out of our God self. So that's Medunite Volume 6. And in this diagram here, you have the layout of the Medunite Oracle. But these principal spheres here are the Paut Neteru. They are the so-called archangels. They are the knowledge holders that enable you to work with the powers directly, right? And not create problems in your life. So if you're not familiar, you can get the sound wave, the hekau, for those 11 faculties, the principal 11 faculties that includes Amen and Geb in this case, right? Through our Ma'at, the 11 laws of God, the 11 laws of health, wealth, and success. This course here. Anybody has taken this course or has this? Okay, great. Yeah, you got it right on your phone, right on your Android, right on your iPhone. All you got to do is hit a button and boom, you can pull up the understanding of that particular faculty. So if you got a reading, one of the key principles to understanding your reading is to do the meditations, right? So now you can pull up that faculty. You can review and understand the law of the faculty. We also have an audio version of Ma'at 11 Laws, the book. So you can get deeper into that. That comes when you buy the course. Okay, and then you can also now have the mantras and the meditation scripting instructions. So you got the whole thing that you need to actually implement in this course. It's available on our Soundwise platform. Okay, so we're going to do a Heru meditation as a sample. We're going to take a 10-minute break so I can take care of the parking gods, and you can stretch your legs for a second. And then we're going to come back and we're going to close with a Heru meditation. So let's take a break. Thank you. What's going on, brother? Here we go. Man God. You was on a roll.
Let's go higher. Let's go higher. Let's go. Let's go higher. Let's go higher. And higher. Consciousness. In our consciousness. Let's go higher. Higher consciousness. Consciousness. Let's go higher. Now is the time. Consciousness. This is the place. Let's go higher. For us is higher consciousness. Let's go higher. Let's change. Consciousness. Let's rearrange. Let's go higher. All of the things that need to be transformed. Let's go higher. The world now consciousness. It's no longer a game. The world is not the same. It's no longer a game. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher. In our consciousness. Let's go higher. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher. In our consciousness. Let's go higher. The time's come for me to change the way I think, to change the way I feel, for me to go beyond what everybody thinks, what everybody says is real. Today I take a step into a time and space of peace and possibility, and here I'm gonna stay until I find my place, my true divinity. Higher consciousness. Let's go higher, higher in our consciousness. Let's go higher, higher consciousness. Let's go higher, come on, in our consciousness. Let's go higher. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with just
You got that job, brother. It looks like that kind of thing. How we doing online? Peace. Yes, we're about to do the second part. Yeah, you can get the recording though. Hmm. Yes. These are for sale. You can, if you want to get one, they can take care of you over there at the counter. If you want to get one, this is these are 20, these are 30. If you buy them both, I think there's a discount. How about people online? All right, I want to say head to Pooh, peace and blessings to the online community we have.
Florida in the house.
Say head to Pooh, Sakara.
Head to Pooh, everyone. We have Gainesville, Florida in the house.
I can't hear you. California?
California is no.
You just need to speak up. I can't hear you.
Chicago. It's a lot of people. It's like 90 people.
All right, welcome. So we're going to move right into our meditation piece. I'm going to do a brief meditation. I want to share with you what Kamitic meditation is all about. Not all about. We can't do that in such limited time. But let's get right into it. So let's start at the broadest understanding of what meditation is. Meditation simply means the process of going into the middle, going into the center. And we understand that in today's technology that we have different brainwave dominant states, right? The state that we are most often in, or the normal waking state, is characterized by dominance of what's called beta waves. And the state that we are in when we are in a light sleep is characterized by a dominance of theta waves. And in between those two, between being awake and being asleep, is the alpha dominant brainwave state, right? The alpha dominant brainwave state is very, very important because it gives us access to the benefits of both the beta and the theta brainwave states, right? So that we can be awake enough to direct the state of our dreams, our inspirations, our rewiring of our neural network, as you hear in today's terminology, this thing called neuroplasticity, right? So our message today is that if there's anything that you need, I don't want to say you should, if there's anything for you to really put your time and attention on, that will be the master domino to deal with most of your life, it is mastering the process of meditation. Mastering meditation. Why do you need to master the meditation state? Because the stress response that we have, and we recognize that stress is a killer, right? Stress is a crippler, all right? But stress is a response. It's not a situation itself. It's something to contemplate, right? Because if there's people in the world that can respond to a situation you're in without getting stressed out, then the stress is in you, not in the situation. If there's things that used to stress you out that don't stress you anymore, then the stress wasn't in that thing. The stress was in you. So stress is a response, and we have the ability to respond, and we also have the responsibility, right? That's something to think about. You got the responsibility. You do. The dopamine, serotonin, you'll hear a lot about that. Again, I'm going to move very quickly. Neuroplasticity means that we actually make new brain connections based on using the state of meditation. It helps us to excel in performance and helps us with longevity with function. Benefits experienced by regular meditators. It's a powerful practice with scientifically proven physical, mental, and emotional benefits. Regular meditation practitioners often report profound positive changes in their overall well-being. Below are some of the key benefits. Physical benefits: reduce stress hormones, improve sleep quality. Anybody having problems sleeping? Very critical. Lowers your blood pressure, boosts your immune system, reduces chronic pain, enhances energy levels. Mental benefits: enhances focus and concentration, reduces anxiety and worry, increases creativity, boosts mental memory, boosts memory retention, improves decision making, improves emotional stability, reduces symptoms of depression, enhances self-awareness, increases compassion and empathy, promotes inner peace. Spiritual benefits: deeper connection with self, heightened intuition, sense of oneness, exploration of higher consciousness, and helps us to align with our purpose and meaning. It has been scientifically proven that 8 weeks of regular meditation can rewire the brain for positivity and emotional stability. 8 weeks. We need to have an 8-week challenge. Who's up for that? 8 weeks, right? That you're going to meditate every day for 8 weeks. Don't have to be for hours. You're going to meditate, quality meditation, every day for 8 weeks. You are rewiring your brain. Meditation reduces amygdala activity, stress center of the brain, and regular meditation improves gray matter density in areas linked to memory, emotional regulation, and learning. So we all need to meditate and master the process of meditation. Again, forgive me for moving quickly, but we need to. We have more detailed, extensive training online and in our courses on Soundwise and on CamiticLegacy.net. So meditation is going into the meditation state. We're going to practice that in a minute. You know when you're in the alpha dominant brainwave state by certain sensations that you experience and the mental quality of what's happening with you. So we're going to work with that in just a moment. But the difference when we speak about Kamitic meditation is that going into the meditation state with all of those benefits is not the end. It's really the beginning, because going into the meditation state allows us to touch the levers of power within our spirit and to reshape and reimagine, right? Reform our own behavior and the things that are happening in our lives. So the meditation script is the understanding that once we know, I know I'm in the alpha brainwave state. I know I'm in the meditation state because I'm having these sensations, these signposts that I passed. Now I can activate a scripting process that will help me to achieve the goals that I need to achieve. And what it is it leverages how our behaviors are formed and how our behaviors are renewed. All of our behaviors involve a triggering event or thought, right? An event could be a thought, could be a memory of something that happened to you. That's how trauma works, right? Post-traumatic. The trauma's over. Post-traumatic. But you're in a stress response because it's the memory of what happened that's able to bring back, right, the physical and emotional response. So we want to be able to go inside and change those connections that have been made, those neural connections that have been made. We can change those, but we have to use the same process. So the event, whether it's a physical event or a thought, a memory, whatever, it triggers a thought and feeling reflex. Remember, it's a reflex. You're not thinking. That's not what thinking is. Somebody hits your hammer, your doctor hits you on the knee, right? With the hammer, and your leg jumps out there. That's reflexive action. So this thought triggered another thought reflects action, an emotional state. And then you follow that with an action reflex, and the action that you take may be so closely connected to the triggering of the thought and the feeling that you can't even distinguish it. So that's why we'll say things like, you made me upset, or you made me talk to you that way, because it's all blurred together, right? And we know, you all know this one already. Your thoughts, you trigger your feelings, your actions, and that's what makes up your character and your destiny. So the meditation script process is to use the same thing to rewire our automatic responses and to mobilize our psychic resources. What do we mean by that? It's not just your emotions. Your emotions are not just in your body. That same aspect of you that manifests as your emotions is your psychic nature, the psychic broadcast station that you have within you that is going out subliminally, meaning beneath the level of perception, touching people and things around you. So you want to have control and mastery over that. You don't want your wayward feeling reactions, putting you in the right place at the wrong time, right? Instigating things in other people who are not in control of themselves because they're picking up on your vibes and so on, right? You want to be in control of that. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a very simplified meditation script today. And this script is going to be about the subject matter of Heru, right? Heru is the faculty of your will. And it is the faculty of your will through which we transcend negative behaviors, right? Your will is simply the freedom to choose, to say, no, I'm not going to eat that anymore. I know it's not right for me. I know my A1C is too high. I know that smoking that is keeping me like a dog chasing his tail, not making progress in my relationship or my marriage or my career. It's destroying my productivity. I already know that. But guess what? Nobody told my feelings. Nobody told my desires. I still want it. I still feel like having it. I still got a craving for it, right? And if you try to wait until the feelings and the cravings cooperate with you, then you are not in charge of your own life. Heru says that you're the king of your life. So God gave you the faculty that you could say, even though I feel that way, I'm not doing that. And you've done that, right? You've done that. I was counseling somebody about a relationship, and it's like, we've been deluded to think that if I don't say how I feel, then I'm not sincere. If I feel with all my might that I can't stand you right now, I love you, but I can't stand you right now, right? And I don't vocalize that to you. I don't act out of that feeling. That's not insincerity. That's living truth. That's doing what's right. Because I'm the master of my feelings, and I make my feelings come into compliance with what I need to do and how I need to show up, right? And that's what you expect. When you go to get some health care, when you go to get some legal stuff, when you go to get whatever, you don't expect the person to be like, well, you know what? I had a problem with my dog this morning. And you look just like the person that, shot my dog, and I'm not giving you, you're like, wait a minute, what is this? What that got to do with what I'm paying you to do right now? I expect you to be able to put that aside and function according to what you're supposed to be doing, right? Right. So sincerity is living truth, not living according to your feelings. So we all twisted up in this crazy cosmogony, lack of cosmogony, like, well, I don't sincerely feel that I should. Sincerity got nothing to do with your feelings. Yeah, let me just flow, right? Because what we need is the psychic power. We don't need to be emotional. We don't need our anger and our fear and all of that. We don't need any of that. Right. So that's what we're talking about. Mastery of those things. The peace will take care of itself. Believe that. So there's something in your life that you have transcended before, right? Can everybody testify about that? There's something that you gave up. There's something that you really wanted to do, and you got it up. You didn't man up. You got it up, right? You didn't woman up. You got it up. You said, no, I'm just not doing that anymore. I'm not going to let this desire push me around anymore. I'm not going to let my anger, ruin my relationship. I'm not going to let my fear or my worry or my desire, I'm not going to let it mess up my life. Everybody has one, right? So I want you to bring to mind, for the purpose of this meditation right now, the memory of that victory. That was a victory for you, correct? That was a victory. You gave that thing up. And we need to associate that victory with a statement of the truth. That's what an affirmation is. A proper affirmation is a statement of the truth. And is that you were able to do that because God gave you the ability, the freedom, the dominion over your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And your freedom, the freedom of your will, is the essence of your divinity. You understand that? That's a God-given. Animals don't have that. Only we have that. We have the freedom to choose to follow our thoughts, feelings, and actions or not. So we want to be thankful to the Creator, by whatever way or name you refer to it as, for endowing us with the freedom to choose. That we are not the subjects, we are the king. Our feelings are our subjects. They come to you and they say, Your Majesty, we would like to eat this today. Can we? And you say, no, we ain't doing that. We have female kings. Go back to Camitic. We have female kings. This is a king thing. Yes. King is not just males. Your feelings are your subjects. They say to you, Your Majesty, I don't feel like talking to your mate today after what she said about you. And you have the right to say, to the gallows with you. Perish the thought, right? Get back in your place. Get back in the stables where you belong. You're the king, right? So you express that in that victory that you had. So that's visualization number one. You got it? You're going to smile, and I want you to, in the meditation, you're going to smile. You're going to smile in the meditation. Smiling is very powerful. It's a meditation secret that we learned, is to see yourself smiling. And if you are, when you really get into this meditation state and you can see it vividly, you might even smile physically. And that is generating neurotransmitters. That is leveraging this neuroplasticity, right? Because it makes it real. Just like if I ask you right now to remember something wonderful about somebody you love, like your mother, your grandfather, whatever, and you can go back into that memory and you can smile and you can feel it in your body, right? Because that's wired inside there. So when you go back, lost this online. On this one? Okay, so we're going to smile. Everybody got it? You got something that you can bring to mind, right? I'm glad we don't have anybody here that has never transcended anything. That's beautiful. Visualization number 2 is your next victory. your next victory. What is it that you need to give up right now? That you need to drop, as they say, like a bad habit. So when I prompt you, I'm just going to suggest to you to recall your next victory. And by your next victory, I want you to have ready, have it prepared, the habit or situation that you will now master. And see yourself smiling and enjoying the mastery of that situation. Why should you do that? Because what you see in your mind is real. Somebody told you that was your imagination, and somebody said, and even wrote a beautiful song, it's just my imagination. Oh no. Yeah, it is running away with you. You imagine that you got to get out of your mind that what's in your imagination is not real. What's in your imagination shapes reality. It shapes your reality. Right? So you smile seeing your next victory because that's your way of telling your spirit and rewiring your brain that I'm already over this. It's already done. We good? So here's the process. You already pricked your trigger. We're going to recite the affirmation. I'm going to do that with you, for you, I should say. And we're going to use a sound wave. We're going to use a Heru sound wave. Can we get that playing right now? Don't worry about knowing all of these words. The main thing is the sound, right? Can everybody do that? Let's raise the temperature. If you don't speak Spanish, which I don't, unfortunately, or some other languages, we have been deprived of certain sounds. When you hear somebody that speaks fluent Spanish, you'll hear that rolling R sound, right? But that HR rolling R sound stimulates this central part. It stimulates the prefrontal cortex of your brain, right? So what you think of as your sinus cavity, that's Mount Sinai. That's where you ascend your consciousness to go get the laws. If you're the mesh, the son of God, Moses, right? That's a whole nother story. That's the eye with the pyramid. That's your third eye, so-called. It's your prefrontal cortex in the language of today. So this word, don't worry about all that you don't know. When we say Ong Haru, right? And you're going to chant it mentally. When we say Ring, when we say Ra, it's that HR. Everybody's got that with me, right? It's the sound wave. So you'll hear the music. I don't hear it. Just turn it up, the speaker in the room. And it goes Ong Haru. And Oser and Ong Hek, Ong Haring, Ja Oser Hara. Right? This is a word of power that stimulates that faculty through which you establish your freedom to choose. So let's talk about this alpha brainwave state. We'll come back to the chant. Let's talk about the alpha brainwave state. How do you know you're in the alpha brainwave state? We go into the alpha brainwave state through breathing and chanting. Chanting takes place mentally, otherwise you couldn't breathe a certain way, right? So we're going to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing, and as you chant mentally, what will happen is you'll get to the point where you start to be fully relaxed, right? And as you relax, you will feel one or some of these sensations. You might feel like your body is not heavy, or you might feel like your body is very light, like you're floating away. Don't worry, you're not going to float away. It'll be all right. You'll notice that you have an effortless thought flow. So this is one of the problems that people have in meditation. They say, I try to meditate, I sit down, and I keep getting the thoughts or whatever. That's because you shouldn't be focusing on the thoughts. You focus on the breathing, and then if you give the left side of the brain something to do with the chant, the melodic chanting, if you just focus on those elements, what will happen as you descend into the alpha brainwave state is that the thought flow will become effortless. Right? If you're struggling with the thoughts, then you're not in alpha. You got me? So if that's happening, just put your attention back on the breathing and on the mental chanting. And it will happen. Just focus on that. You might feel floating, drifting, twisting. You know, it's very interesting because your body is still, right? But you have another body. We call it the electromagnetic energy body around you. You're aware of that. You might feel displaced, like you're moving, but you know you're sitting still, right? So that's all good signs of alpha brainwave activity. You'll feel very relaxed and peaceful. So focus on the rhythmic diaphragmatic breathing and the mental chant. All right, so let's get the time that we have. Ready? All right, so I'd like everybody to sit up. You want to be sitting up straight and make sure that you are not tensing your shoulders. You have a good chair, you can kind of scoot all the way back so that your lower back is supported. You just rest your hands on your knees like your brother here. And you can close your eyes or you can pull down at the tip of your nose. I'd like you to place your tongue on the roof of your mouth, your hard palate right behind your front teeth. And you're going to breathe only through the nose. So we're going to breathe it out through the nose. And let's just take a nice deep breath with your own face. And breathe out and just relax your body as you let go of your air. You can hear me well? Good on that. Now, when you breathe in through your nose, I want you to let the lower abdomen just focus right now in the area just around your navel, below your navel. Let that go out and expand out. And as you breathe out, your stomach is contracting naturally, effortlessly coming in. Your focus is on your lower abdomen. Take a nice deep breath together. Push the stomach out. And out, let the stomach collapse. One more time. Nice deep breath in. Let the stomach extend outward. And release it. Stomach collapses. Now we're going to add another element. I want you to breathe in, and as your stomach expands, I want you to very, very gently tense your lower abdomen as if you were trying to do a sit-up. And hold that tension there as you breathe out. Bring the volume down a little bit on this end. And then when you finish breathing out, release the tension and breathe in. When you breathe in with no tension, at the end of the in-breath, apply a slight tension in your lower abdomen. And as you breathe out, that tension is resisting very subtly the out breath. And then release that tension. Relax your stomach and breathe in. Just continue with that pattern. Again, this is gentle. Very steady. Those of you that know that, you can add the Asvini Mudra. That is the contraction of your urinary sphincter, right? At the end of the in-breath, as you press down, tap, and hold it as you breathe out. Release it with no tension, no mudra, as you breathe in. Very good. When I say breathe in, you again, breathe in through your nose, take the breath down into the lower belly, slightly tense. And then when I say breathe out, keep the tension there, move your arm, and then release. And that's the whole release, all tension, and then breathe in. Right, so we're going to now focus on the mouth, and we're going to connect the breathing. Let's bring the stand down a little bit. On her root, is this there? And what about the inner say right now? On her root. Instead, hurrah. I want you to focus on those two words. On her root, root. On the microphone, and then ring, and then hurrah, like the chant to the temple, right? In the stadium, hurrah, hurrah. Chant it mentally. Make the HR sound mentally. Alright, here we go. Turn up this a little bit more. Let's put it together. Breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in on her root. And breathe out. Take the breath and breathe in. Breathe out slowly. In. And breathe out. As you're breathing out, release and breathe in. And breathe out. And totally relax. Physically relax. Only tension in your body is that right, straight tightening of your lower abdomen at the end of the in-breath. Focusing on your breath, nice and full. You find a groove. Any sounds around you doesn't matter, just focus on your breathing. You're already feeling like you're relaxed. You might feel heat. Feeling very peaceful and floating. Different sensations for different people. Just focus on the breathing. And when you hit that groove and your body wants to go on its own, wants to breathe at its own pace, just let it happen. Focus on the chant. Always focus on. Dancing along mentally. Power and words.
Words of fire, sound vibration, helping us to get into that state where we can say, thank you, God. You don't say thank God, say thank you, God, because you're talking to God that's good, it's like you're with you. The being is always with you. Thank you for giving me dominion over my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Freedom of my will is the essence of my divinity. Relaxing, enjoying this energy right now. I want you to call to mind victory number 1. Call to mind your victory that you prepared. See it now. See yourself when you walk away from that toxic relationship. The emotions you're tied up in. When you put down that habit that you know is holding you down. Change your diet. Discipline yourself to perform at the level you needed to succeed in your business and school. See that victory now. And give thanks to God. Say, God, thank you, God, for giving me dominion over my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions. Smile and enjoy that victory. You did it. As you say, the freedom of my will is the essence of my divinity. My freedom to choose. Thank you for giving me dominion over my thoughts, feelings, and actions. Enjoy that victory. You did it. You changed your life because God made you a divine being. So take a moment today and celebrate that. Take a moment today and ignore all the negativity around you and celebrate your divinity that you can choose to rise above any thought, pattern of thinking, any feeling, any desire or passion cannot control you because you are the sovereign king of your domain. Is a king, like Hatshepsut was a king. Amish with the power was a king, a function. It's the form to rule your domain. And now, I want you to see your next victory. Your next victory. Make it happen right now. You know you need to drop that thing. You know you need to stop following the impulses of your anger, your fear-driven decisions. You see yourself in a situation that triggers those things. And you are seated on your throne. Dismiss that thought. Dismiss the emotion. Walk away. Take all of that stuff you know you shouldn't do. You just throw it in the trash. See yourself being victorious over those desires, those compulsions, and smile and enjoy it. Smile and enjoy the victory. As you say, thank you, God. You gotta thank God in advance. Thank you. For giving me dominion over my thoughts, feelings, actions, desires. My freedom to whole. My own behavior, my own life. It's the essence of my divinity. If you have mastered your life to a certain degree, you can share this energy right now with your son, with your daughter, with your friend, with your child, with your enemy. There's no limitation on your psychic domain. You can send that energy to lift them up. They don't know where it's coming from, why it happened, but all of a sudden they have a thought. They have a feeling that they can do it. They can transcend what they know is wrong. They can know that what they're doing is wrong, and they can transcend it. Because you are transcending them the message. Sending them the strength, the psychic force. Somebody needs you. That's why we got to do this spiritual work. Somebody needs you. Take the time, the hours of the sun. Take the time this month. Do a 15-minute meditation. Take this beautiful, empowering energy and send it to those who need it. That person successful, telling you how they found the strength to apologize, they found the strength to change, to drop what addiction they had, and smile and enjoy it. As we bring this meditation all right. So this is a very condensed version of what you can fully get into on your Ma'at 11 laws. You can learn how to really write your meditation script. When you go into your Kamitic meditation journal, you'll see every month there's a section there for you after you've done your personality evaluation, for you to write your meditation script, which is a little more detailed than what we just did, right? But you got the basic idea. And then on the bottom, this is the most important part, is the tracker, right? You know, I'm slowly learning some Portuguese, you know, because of my love of Capoeira Angola, you know, and I'm going to be going to Brazil. I know that's going to happen. I'm going to manifest that soon. But I'm using the Duolingo app, and it's cool because it keeps smacking you, like you don't want to lose your streak, you know, like. So that's important. You got to do it 21 days in a row, and the most important 21 days is starting at the new moon forward. If you can harness those 21 days, and you will create a habit. All right, so we have a couple minutes before we need to wrap up here. And if you're online, if you want to leave us a comment, a reaction, a question, you can do it real quick. Anybody present would like to share? Anybody's first time meditating? Are you all experienced meditators? First time, really?
So how did you feel? No, I said, how did you feel in the meditation experience the first time? Immediately effective. Okay. Did you have any of those sensations that we talked about? Relaxed, or what did you feel? What did you feel? Any alpha state? The alpha brainwave state. Remember, I talked about the tingly, the warmth, the coolness, the heaviness. Did you experience any of that? Okay, okay, that's good. That's good. All it takes is a practice. All right, so we are out of time. Anything online? All right, so appreciate y'all coming out to spend a moment with me in Brooklyn today. And I will you to have your best year ever. Don't pay attention to the noise. I mean, we got to pay attention to the noise strategically, but we don't have to internalize that emotionally, right? We need to make sure we don't internalize that emotionally. The turmoil and the conflict and the daily dose of disaster, the triple D, right? The daily dose of disaster information that is, because bad news sells, right? It keeps us all looking. So make sure that you are not giving into that, because everybody's stress hormones is just elevating, and we're only sabotaging ourselves. So master your meditation and spread the good energies and the good word. Thank you so much. Neteru.